In this video, I will demonstrate how to import and view raw scan data or previously registered data into uniTank. The import points function is uniTank's interface with external data. Once you have imported data into uniTank, you can use the load points function for subsequent data loading. The import points function supports most of the common scan data formats, such as E57, PTX, and FLS. If data is stored in several files, uniTank will combine these into separate layers in one single file. The internal data storage format in uniTank is the PT3 format. This file operates the most efficiently within uniTank and ensures the fastest loading and saving times. You can always export data that is stored in the PT3 format to either the E57 or PTX format at a later point if you need to work with the data outside of uniTank afterwards. When selecting scan data in the import points function, simply point uniTank to the folder containing the data. Valid scan data files within this folder will be listed in the main dialog. Again, it doesn't matter if your data is located in a single file or multiple files. uniTank will figure it out. You can easily remove data files from this dialog by selecting them and pressing the Remove button, or simply by pressing the Delete key on the keyboard. If you are working with two different sets of data, such as an externally scanned set and internally scanned set, or an internally scanned set but with a set above the floating roof and one below the floating roof, import each set of data separately. We will register the data separately and then combine them into a single model. If you choose to import them as a single file, or if all the layers are located in a single file already, you can always separate them out as separate data sets once it's inside uniTank. We typically recommend resampling the data to 1/2 inch. This operates on a per layer basis and ensures that the data density is even throughout each scan. We have found this data density to be sufficient for tank analysis and ensures optimal performance of uniTank on most hardware. If you are working with a very large area, such as a berm, or with a lot of data layers, we suggest resampling the data to 1 inch. Importing data is a multi-threaded process, but it is typically hard disk limited. If you have SSDs on your machine, the process will be much quicker than compared when using traditional hard disks. The import progress is reported below on the left-hand side. When import is complete, you will get a summary of how many data points you started with and how many uniTank kept. Typically, you should be in the 10 to hundreds of million point count. Below 5 million points, you may run into issues because there are certain density requirements for registration. So once the data is loaded into uniTank, you can have a look at the data. If it is unregistered, it will likely look like a mess of points. You can use the Fit to Window option to center the data on your screen. To navigate around uniTank, use the mouse left button to move and the mouse right button to rotate. Using both left and right mouse buttons at the same time will move you up and down. The scroll wheel will zoom you in and out. Some shortcuts to keep in mind are T for top view, and S for side view, and N for north view. You can adjust the density of the data shown in the settings. If your data set is large, you may consider operating in low density mode to ensure fluid user interaction. You can look at a horizontal slice of data by using the Constrain Z button. You can quickly modify the horizontal slice by using the Page Up and Page Down buttons on the keyboard. You can color each layer to a different color to differentiate between them. Here we have the drawing tools. These tools allow us to draw different shapes in the window to select data or define objects. To use these, simply hold down the Shift key. If you need to delete a point, hold down Shift and press Backspace on the keyboard. To clear your drawing or selection, hit Escape on the keyboard. The asterisk in front of a data layer indicates that there are unsaved changes. Ensure you save your work regularly. Hitting Ctrl S will save your data if it has changed. Alternatively, you can save the entire dataset to another file, or you can export specific layers within the dataset. Now that you have the data loaded into uniTank, you are ready to register the data. Please proceed to the complete analysis video.